So we wanted to have this topic and this specific topic brought to you guys because it is a really excellent way to expand your network. And we all know that over the course of time, one of the things that's going to bring you so much success in this business is continuously expanding your network. If you start expanding your network from day one in this business, you're never going to reach the end of your network. You're never going to hit that plateau where your warm market is either joined or you've talked to them, or there's that lag. If you're continuously building your brand, building your network, expanding your network, that's never going to happen. So this is one of those essential tools and a really excellent way, hey everybody, really excellent way to continuously build your network. And it's kind of a never-ending way. So not only does it kind of get you thinking and making new friends and that sort of thing, it gets you thinking a little bit more about yourself and being intentional in your branding and that sort of thing. So I can't have this conversation, or we can't have this conversation without first talking about influence. And you guys, influence can be gained, but one of the biggest ways that you gain influence with the people around you is by bringing something to the table for them, bringing knowledge, bringing impact, adding something of value to their life. And usually when we're in a topic of this, it's generally about bringing new knowledge to them, bringing something that they didn't know before, a different way of thinking about things, that sort of thing. So we really are talking about kind of using knowledge and using what you're already interested in to build your brand and to build your network. And we're doing that through these groups, okay? So we've talked a lot about branding, and I don't actually love the term branding because it sounds very marketing, very salesy, but really you have to kind of look in and be a little bit introspective with yourself and figure out who you are. Okay, so what are 5 topics that you're very interested in? 3 to 5 topics that you're super interested in. This is kind of the jumping off point for this group's conversation, okay? So for me, I'm really interested in cooking. I'm interested in home decorating. We're building a lake house right now, so new home builds, that sort of thing. And of course, I have my kids as well, so I'm interested in, parenting information, support from that perspective, that sort of thing. So those are 3 topics, 3 of my really high up there topics. I have a lot of secondary topics as well, but for this conversation, I want to keep it at 3 for right now, okay? So I want you guys to think of 3 different aspects of your personality, 3 different topics that you have a whole lot of interest in, or that is, and this can be seasonal too, right? Like these topics, like me building a house, that's not going to constantly be in my, topic range, right? So just think about, where you're at currently right now, what things you're interested in posting about, talking about, learning about, growing personally on, whether that's, gut health or whatever. There's a billion different topics that you guys could take this. And there's groups to match these topics on Facebook. So you're going to want to join. What I'm going to ask you to do for your kind of homework with this, and I'm going to kind of share that homework as we go along, and the activity surrounding this is to go and join 3 of these groups. So like I said, it could be a cooking group, it could be decorating kids, mom's group, but it really does need to fit your style. So if you're not a crunchy mom per se, and you go and join like a baby wearing crunchy mom, group, and you're on the opposite end of that spectrum, unless you're trying to learn to get more like that, it's probably not the best group for you, right? You have to have a genuine interest in what that is, because you want to be relatable to the people that you're talking to. You want to have a connection with them. You want to add value to them back and forth. You want to build friendships with them at the end of the day. So you truly do want this to be something that is something that you're genuinely interested in. And we're going to be very intentional about this, okay? So all of this stuff with the groups, all of this advice that we're giving you tonight, all of this, it's very intentional actions that you have to take on your own. So 3 groups, write that down, but you want to join 3 groups. Then you want to focus on just one group at a time for a week, because we kind of go through these cycles in our business, and it's much easier to focus on one thing at a time with the group aspect of this, because you've got everything else going on in your business. You've got your normal business supporting your team, you've got your home life, all that kind of thing. You want to just focus on one group at a time so you can really get organized and be intentional about it. So focus on that group. You're going to join that group, and you're going to market to that group on your Facebook page too. So what I mean by that is, say you join that group and they go and they look at your Facebook page. You've made a post on that group, and they want to go check out who Amy Welch is. And you're in a RV group, right? And she has not posted anything about RVs ever, and her first post says she's an avid RVer or something like that. You don't want those two things. You don't want them to go see on your page Plexus, 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 because then they're going to know immediately, and they're going to be like, you know what, I'm not accepting her friend request, or I'm not going to send her a friend request. You want to have something of value to add to them, to let them know, yes, oh, I have a connection with this person. I have something in common with this person. I know why she's in this group. And so you definitely want to make it very intentional what you're talking about on your main Facebook page as well, okay? Then in this group, you're not joining it to post Plexus ever. You literally never, ever, ever, ever mention Plexus in these groups. Your purpose in these groups is to build influence with the people in this group, is to build connection with the people in this group, is to gain knowledge from them as well. It's give and take, right? And so when you hop into these groups, what you're going to do is you're going to post an open-ended question, get some engagement, get some interaction. And for 1 week, you're going to be posting in that group. You're going to be commenting on people's posts in that group, engaging with people, going back and forth, offering advice, taking advice, asking questions, just being a productive member of that group, an engaged member of that group. And you're going to want to add 10 people from that group over the course of that week as a friend. And you're going to want to have some kind of way of tracking it, whether you're a pen and paper kind of person or you have it on your computer. You're going to want to track those names. So I met Amy Welch from my Neighborhood Moms group, and then, make a little note what you guys talked about. But you're at least going to want to know where you met that person from, and you're going to want to revisit it. So this can go directly onto your list of 64. However you guys work that list and use that list, this is a great way to add to that list, right? So the reason that you want to track these people is so over the course of time, your goal is to build this relationship with these people. Your goal is to continue the relationship beyond just that back and forth and just the ad on Facebook. So when you send them a friend request, or when they send you a friend request, which is even better, you immediately send them a messenger message. So say I shot Amy friend request, I'm going to immediately send her a message and continue whatever engagement I had, or ask her an additional question. Say, hey, I was just talking to you on the RV board. I had a follow-up question about the type of RV that you guys have, blah, 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 and ask a follow-up question, or just continue it, or be like, hey, where are you going this summer? Just something along those lines, so that it gets that conversation going. Ask them a question, and then they see the friend request and they're like, oh, okay, I know where that person's from. You get that conversation going, you have that list written down, so then you're intentionally going to their page as well and chatting with them. So that's the big thing. So you're going to do one of these groups per week. You're going to spend an entire week, so schedule it into your calendar, engaging on that post, marketing to them on Facebook, and also communicating with them, behind the scenes and building those relationships. But the biggest thing that you can do, the biggest issue, is you never, ever, ever want to post Plexus in these groups. That's the quickest way for the group admin to, number one, kick you out, because more than likely it's not allowed in there, or number two, turn off all the influence that you might have gained in the group, right? So you definitely want to have this engagement and just be a member of that group for that topic, right? Then the next thing that you're going to do is the next week you're going to do that second group, and then that third group. You're going to keep it at those 3 for quite a while and just kind of rotate back and forth and build your influence in those groups. This is going to just be another part of your IPA. I'm not talking spending hours on this. I'm literally talking 15 minutes a day. So I don't want you guys thinking that this is like another huge task that we have to do. It's just a way to constantly expand your network. And if you, one of the things to look for within these groups too is you don't want to look for a group that is just 200 people, right? You also don't want to look for a group that, or 200 or under, and you also don't want to look for a group that's like got over 10,000 people, because you're going to get lost in the shuffle in there. You want a good sized group to where the admins, aren't going to be quite as selective as such a small group, and you want to have, a wide range of people in there. You want, but not so big that everybody gets lost in the shuffle and it's impossible to build relationships. So you definitely want to use this as a constant way to kind of go back and kind of constantly track who you're meeting, who you're seeing. So the other key, okay, this is the big one. Okay, the other key is this is about relationship marketing. It's about building the relationship, expanding your network in a really intentional way. And I can't see the comments, guys. I'll have to look at them when I'm done. But excuse me. So this is about expanding your network in a really intentional way. So you want to build the relationship, and you need to understand that these relationships that you're building, they take time. You're a stranger to them. Plexus is probably naturally going to come up at some point because they'll see you make posts here and there. You're not going to stop posting Plexus, right? Like, it's still one of the key parts of your personality, and you're going to be posting about these other topics, the 5 things that are in your brand, that sort of thing. But Plexus probably should be one of them, right? So they're going to Plexus might naturally come up with these people the more and more that you engage with them, send them messages, build that relationship with them. And about 90 days in, which is why you want to have this tracked, that's the point in time, if you've done everything right along the way, that you're going to actually physically reach out and message them. Just saying something as easy as, hey, Amy, I don't think I've ever told you what I do for a living, have I? Just something as simple as that. Or even just if you've noticed that she's been talking about headaches or financial issues or something like that on Facebook, you reach out about that. Or, and this one is one of my favorites, messaging her and saying, hey, Amy, I'm doing this event tonight for my job, and I'm wondering if you would mind I really respect your opinion. I wonder if you would mind just being a fly on the wall and giving me your opinion about it afterwards, and inviting them to an event, whether it's a launch party, whether it's a, some sort of opportunity meeting that you're hosting, something like that, or a corporate event, a corporate call that you send them, something, any sort of anything, asking for them their opinion because you respect them they want to give it back. They want to give feedback, and they don't feel like they are jumping on there to watch a business presentation or to be sold to or anything like that. They think they're jumping on there to help you out and that sort of thing. So it's a really good way to validate them and to continue to take that relationship to the next level. And that you're going to know, what type of approach you want to take with each of these people, because you're going to have really known them over the last little while. The more and more that you do this, the more active you get in these groups. You can also switch out the groups. Say, you finish building your house and whatever, or say that group's not that great, switch it out. Look for another one. There's tons of groups out there. And you want to kind of, evolve with what's going on in your life too, because you want it to be authentic things that you're interested in and authentic things that you can bring some value to the table too. And it's going to give you a lot of great posting ideas as well, right? So those are the big things. We want to definitely be focusing on just one group a week, adding 10 people per week from these Facebook groups, and slowly doing that over time. Because can you imagine if you're in 90-day cycles with these people, which is generally how long this takes and how long it lasts? Think about what's going to happen over the course of the year and how many new prospects you're going to have, how many new relationships you're going to have, how many new customers, how many new ambassadors, and you're ever exponentially expanding your network. So Amy's going to talk to us a little bit tonight too about using these groups and drawing people out of these groups as well. So take it away, Amy.
Hey guys, so I've been monitoring the chat while Sarah was talking, and a lot of you guys have been doing this. One thing I wanted to say though, like Sarah mentioned, you really want it to be a group that you're knowledgeable about or interested in. But I just wanted to put a warning in there. Try to stay away from illness groups or health illness groups. So like, there are thyroid groups, there are autoimmune disease groups, and a lot of times I've seen people on the team think, hey, well, I have that and I can help them. I could share my experience. I'm going to join that group. Do not use those groups for this purpose. It's fine that you're in them. Those groups, though, tend to be pretty anti-network marketing. And if there's one thing that I think a lot of us have learned from those groups is that sadly they're very negative, and it's not a place where you're going to get positive relationship connections from. So think of hobbies, think of lifestyle things, try to stay away from some of those illness groups, which is sad, even though we could help these people. Those groups, when people have joined them and tried to do what Sarah just laid out, they don't work. So
right, and a lot of those people just want to remain sick too.
They do.
Way. So just be aware of that.
And it's going to do nothing but frustrate you when you're in that group. You're just going to get frustrated. So let me give a couple of examples. Like, Sarah and I met on the moms group. I have several level ones from a Jamaica group. So I'm obsessed with Jamaica. I love Jamaica. I've gone every year. I actually am an administrator of the group of this resort that we go to. And because I love Jamaica so much, and I've been several times, I am constantly in there posting, answering questions for new people. I share my packing list with people. And so I've really become kind of this content expert on this resort. And by default, when people send me friend requests, then we chat about Jamaica, or because they see my name in the group so often, I can send them a friend request and it's totally natural for them, right? And then like Sarah said, we take it to a private message. But even if you're not to the point where you're taking things to private message yet, but you're really, really active in the group and you want to schedule this, right? Because if not, again, you can get time sucked into it. So put it in your daily Plexus work schedule that you're going to spend time engaging in this group. So once you have done that a while and you become a regular poster or a regular commenter in the group and you've already introduced yourself, then you can actually use that group to get even more friends and do kind of a spin-off. And here's the way you do it, right? You are going to post in the group that you're doing some sort of a challenge and you are inviting people to be a part of it. Okay. You can even say it's no selling, it's no advertising, it's just a bunch of people working towards a common goal. Challenges work really well in Facebook group, whether it be a 5-day water challenge, a 12-day no sugar challenge, a plank challenge. You've seen those like 30-day squat challenges, whatever it is. You're going to post in this group that you've become kind of a content knowledge expert in. And then anyone who wants to participate in that, they must friend you first. They must send you a friend request, and then you're going to add them to your new group. And this works amazingly well on 3 fronts, really. 1, you get a bunch of new friend requests. 2, then by default, they're going to see your posts. But 3, it now sets you up as somewhat of a content expert, and it builds your influence in this group. Now, if you're going to do it, though, you do have to make it a group that you're going to be active in. You're going to post every day because of the challenge, and you are going to engage, right? It's not something where you think it's a great idea. You add people to this group, and then you realize you don't have time to keep the group up, right? That's going to backfire. But nowadays, guys, these daily squat challenges or these, no sugar challenges, they're really easy. All you're going to do is post in the group once a day and say, all right, guys, here we go. It's day 1. We're all going to do 10 squats. Post a selfie when you do your squats. And that's it. And then you get that engagement among all of these new friends from that previous group. Now, it doesn't work if you are not already engaged in your kind of hobby group, right? So a couple of you have mentioned you might do a scuba diving group. Cameron said in the comments she's doing a scuba group now for female scuba divers. That is great. It's not going to work if you're brand new and they've not seen you in that group for you to post and be like, hey guys, we're going to do a squat challenge. I just thought some of you might want to be a part of it. But after they see you be a member of that group and knowledgeable, then you can make that post, right? And it's really about, when you're in that group, it's really about adding value to them, building a relationship with them, and then helping them see some sort of results that they were hoping for, right? That's all you want to do in these groups. And then when that happens, they're going to be much more likely to buy from you and join you from what they're seeing on your personal page, your personal pages. Or like Sarah said, if you invite them to an event, if you ask for their opinion, but you have to have that influence first. And for those people who do it that way and they're very systematic about it, they have gotten incredible results from it. The one thing about these Facebook groups, guys, and I think it helps to take the pressure off you, don't think about Plexus. Too often I see people do these groups and they're so focused on how to force Plexus, how to bring up Plexus, how to talk about Plexus, that then none of their posts are authentic and people can feel that. People can sense that, right? So you're going to look at these groups as a way to gain more knowledge yourself, gain more friends, and just engage with people and be social on Facebook. That's all you're doing with these groups. But it's huge for building your influence. If you joined us when we first started this little business group, we talked a lot about influence, guys, because influence is what gets people to buy from you. Influence is what gets people to join your team. And influence is what gets people to actually work the business with you. It doesn't really matter what your products are. I mean, we have a huge bonus that our products are incredible and they work, but that's not enough. You have to have that influence. And these Facebook groups are huge for building that influence. They start to see you as someone they can relate to. They might start to see you as a content expert, and they certainly will see you as someone that they want to be friends with and follow on Facebook if you are engaging in these types of groups. I'm going to check the comments real quick. Oh yeah, look at that. Sarah said she gained around 50 new friends by doing this last month. That's awesome. That is incredible. Yeah, so Sarah, did you want to talk any more about building influence before we?
So I think as far as the influence goes, I mean, it truly is, it's about adding value to the other person. It's about building a connection. And I want you guys to kind of think from the standpoint of, I know a lot of you guys follow like different people on Facebook. If there's like a person or a page that you specifically follow, if there's a blog that you check every day or that you subscribe to their emails and you look back at, there's even like a Pinterest board or an Instagram account, like what are those things? Why? And I want you guys to kind of think through that and think, why am I drawn to that? Mm-hmm. Why am I interested in watching her blog post? Why am I interested in watching her Facebook profile? A lot of times because it's gonna be about sharing knowledge, being inspirational, being educational, and being relatable. And so you have something in common with the person to start with. So that's point, first and foremost, you have something, birds of a feather flock together. You're gonna attract people that are similar to you, right? So it really does need to be something authentically interesting to you. And then the other thing of that is, they're probably offering something of value to you. So you feel like it's worth your time to go to their page. You feel like it's worth your time to talk to that person. You feel like it's, there's something give and take right there. So you really do want to connect with everybody, but just from a marketing standpoint too, you do want to be adding value on your page and nobody wants to be sold to or spammed to and have it be one big Plexus advertisement or, anything. I mean, you want to have more dimension to what you're talking about. So even when you're going through that week of just posting about house issues or designs or whatever, or your kids or whatever it is, You want to add other things in there too, but it needs to be what your main focus is that week. You know what I mean? I think it's just so that influence is just so important, because that's what you're doing here. You're building influence with strangers. And like Amy said, I actually have a ton of people on my team, Amy included, that I met online that I didn't know before Plexus. I didn't know Amy before Plexus. We met in a neighborhood moms group on Facebook. So I think that is, it's just a really big thing to keep kind of front and center in this day and age. It's a great way to make new friends.
Well, and one thing you guys do want to keep in mind when you start using groups this way is you want to look at your personal Facebook profile and look at your settings. If the only public posts you have are Plexus posts, people are not going to friend request you. When I was in that neighborhood moms group and Sarah commented, and I immediately, what did I do? I went to face stalk her because I didn't know her. We weren't Facebook friends. If I had seen nothing but like spammy, fuzzy Plexus graphics, I'd have been like, no way. But I saw pictures of her and her kids. I could get that she was a stay-at-home mom. I could get that we had kids kind of the same age. And that was just, a couple quick scrolls. That's what people do. They are going to face stalk you. So make sure that if you have posts that are public, they are a good mix. In fact, I went back and made none of my Plexus posts public. I know a lot of times what we used to say, especially when somebody makes their very first Plexus post, to make it public so the team can comment on it. But I actually recommend now not making that public, because when people face stalk you, you don't want them to see a lot of Plexus posts. And the other thing is, like Melissa had talked about on the LinkedIn, it's not that we're embarrassed about Plexus, but you want these people to approach you with an open mind. And if they're seeing nothing but Plexus posts, some people, whether it's wrong or right, are already going to be kind of a little bit biased against it, right?
Absolutely.
So definitely keep that in mind if you're using it for these groups. The other thing I want to talk about, guys, and I think this is something that people forget very often, it's groups that are our team groups. So Team Taylor, I have mine for my team, even this 30-day group, but specifically the big jewel pages that you're adding your wholesale ambassadors to. These are huge for building influence with your team. People don't realize that your activity and your influence in those groups has more to do with your team exploding, your team momentum, than anything. And you're like, well, wait, I add people to it, right? When you are, so just because you sign somebody up, right? Just because someone enrolls an ambassador, you send them the welcome email like we talked about last week, you do the 3-way call, put them in the chat, and you add them to the team page. It doesn't mean all of a sudden that the enrollment process is over, you guys, because you actually want to keep pushing them to the next step and to keep exposing them to the culture of the team, which was going to inspire them to take action, inspire them to work the business, inspire them to just keep taking their products. But if you only add them and then you stop engaging on the team page, they don't know Sarah and I. They don't know who we are. Even though you tag us in the welcome, that still doesn't mean a whole lot to them. Now all of a sudden they've trusted you to buy Plexus, but now you're MIA. That sends them a message, right? Your goal, remember, your goal is to help these people become a better version of themselves. So if you can help create that culture on the team page where people actually want to go and seek it out, we want more than just a wholesaler to be welcomed. We want them to actually check the team page every day. We want them to click on the notification. But if they're not getting them because you're not active in that team page, then you're actually hurting your team. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. So when you're doing your daily Plexus schedule, you need to put time aside to actually engage on the team page. And it's more than just tagging people in a contest, guys. It's commenting on posts. If you watch a video, comment and say you watched the video. If you participated in something, comment and say you did. Give shout outs. You can give shout outs to wholesalers for drinking their water, for being consistent. You can give shout outs beyond just business shout outs. But by them seeing you comment, when they see your name, that builds your influence as a leader. It builds your influence as somebody who knows what the heck they're talking about with Plexus. And it builds your influence for people that are beyond just your level ones that are on your team. All right. So I want you guys to really keep that in mind, that the team page is huge for building your team. I hear a lot of times people say, man, I wish I could get a business builder. How can I turn people into business builder? I really want people to, I want people to want to be silver and want to be gold. 90% of the time, people are going to get inspired to work the business because of what they see you doing on these pages.
Yep. Absolutely. It's the quickest way to build your influence. We're talking about building influence in these external groups. The most important people that you can build influence with is your team that you already have. And I can tell you guys, when I first joined Plexus, I didn't have a team page, and I was crazy active in all the groups, crazy active. I was commenting, I was learning, I was asking questions, I was sharing things that I found about the products in my own research, that sort of thing. And it made my team, that my new, all these new people that I had just brought into this company, and a bunch of you guys were there with me, it made them be excited and be like, well, Sarah's really engaged in this. She's really interested in it. It can also be the thing that kills your influence too, because if you are gung-ho about Plexus to them and that you're going to be their coach and you're going to do all these things, and then you are nowhere to be found, familiarity breeds comfort, and they want to log into that page and they want to see the people that they know within Plexus, that they're showing this a priority and that they're engaged and interested on it, that they're participating in the contest, that they're logging into these calls. If I see Amy log into a call and she's like, oh, this is great, I'm like, oh shoot, I need to go check that out. That's what it's about. And it's such a big deal. It really is. It's the single biggest way you can build influence. Your team is not bought in yet. They are not bought in when they're wholesale ambassadors. You guys are customers. You've got to build that enthusiasm, and you've got to build that interest through your activity on the team pages.
Yep. And when they see you as kind of that content expert, even your wholesalers, sometimes they go MIA and you're like, why did you quit ordering? And they hit die off and you're like, well, why didn't you even tell me? That comfort level isn't there yet. They can get that by seeing you answer questions on the team page. And even guys, Sarah and I know we've talked about it before. We love it when people ask troubleshooting questions on the team page. Like, you don't have to do that kind of stuff in a private thread. If someone's not pooping, if somebody is bloated, ask on the team page, because that also shows other people that they're not alone in their journey. Now, obviously, there's certain business things that you don't put on the team page. We'll be quick to delete those, right? But anything that helps build that culture and helps the people to see that, you know what, this page does bring value. I do get something from it. It's not just something that they added me to and then went MIA.
Right. Absolutely. All right. Did you have anything else to add, Amy?
I don't think so. I was just checking the threads real quick. So, nope, that's it.
I think we're good. Okay, guys. So homework, go figure out those groups. Go add yourself or join at least 3 of them. Definitely look at the size before you join them. And then concentrate. Build a little schedule in your calendar for, 1 week at a time, 1, 2, 3. Make your next 3 weeks and figure out which you're going to concentrate on first, and make a little plan. Guys, it's 15 minutes a day. This isn't a big task, but it really does pay off well in the long run, especially key is being organized about it. So
set a timer. Oftentimes, guys, you need to set a timer and say, okay, 15 minutes in my group, 15 minutes on the team page. Because if not, that 15 minutes on Facebook will turn into an hour. So set
Yes, you'll get sucked into the black hole of Facebook.
Yes.
All right, guys, we'll have a great night. Happy Monday, and we know we're going to kick off the rest of this month going crazy. Lots of exciting things happening. You guys, those events that we are in right now, that's another thing I just want to mention. The Belly Blaster Challenge and the 7-day experience. If you have people in there, your booties better be commenting in there and participating in there for the exact reasons we just stated, right? So yes. That's a really important piece of this, to be active in those groups, okay? Bye, guys. We'll see you guys soon.